Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very much late No Way Home podcast review. But here we are. We are back, and as you can see, that thumbnail, it's a work of charm, and you can see it right here as well.
Oh, yeah. As I said, this movie was definitely far from what I expected, and also definitely not disappointing.
Yes, it definitely comes a lot coming from me, who predicted 81% and somewhere in the sixes for IMDb.
Yeah,
way off.
Here's the thing, I forgot what I predicted.
I think you gave it somewhere. You said it'd be somewhere in the 90s if they like it, and if they hate it, it'd be somewhere in the 50s.
Yeah, I think that was accurate. Knowing me, I probably said somewhere in the 70s as well. But yeah, I guess we should just start off from what we initially didn't want to get too hyped up on in our previous podcast on it.
And that was, were the leaks true? And I don't mean the Tobey Andrew. I mean like the leaks, like, well, actually, I guess it is true. Just the pictures, like the pictures, were the pictures actually in the movie, were the videos actually in the movie, and yeah.
Spoiler, almost all of them were. I think Doc Ock one was the only one that was fake. The one where the movie starts off directly where he ended and the Marvel logo comes up. That was the only one that was fake.
But everything else was real, which is just like, wow.
Yeah, like, pretty much, if it leaked online, it happened.
Exactly. It means we were being spoiled the movie all the way back in the summertime, and we just thought it was fake.
Mainly not to get our hopes up, but I also have to say this. It makes sense now, in retrospect, to have Tobey and Andrew be in the film, because think about it this way. If they weren't in the movie, it would have been way too little, but also too much at the same time.
Exactly. I mean, I know what I said, that we should be seeing Tom Holland's Spider-Man, go all out, which I'll touch this on the later topic about, the later topic here, but, I thought, like, Tom Holland could do it himself, but they were able to write it away to where Tom got to shine, but you also had the other two Spider-Men there as well. John Watts did a beautiful job, honestly.
He did better than I expected. He did such a good job in this film, it kind of makes me want to rewatch Far From Home.
Same, and Homecoming as well, because I don't know if Homecoming still ages well. I've only seen it since the first time I've seen it, so...
I saw Homecoming on the lead-up to No Way Home. I didn't care to watch Far From Home, if I'm being honest.
I don't blame you. But yeah, all the leaks, they were all true. There's nothing much more to say on that. And I know another question is, how were Tobey and Andrew treated? And I have to say, now, I've seen there's some hate videos regarding how Tobey was treated and all that, and I'm going to put it into this. Tobey didn't want his Spider-Man to get that much touched upon. He didn't want to overshadow Tom.
Also, in terms of Tobey not really getting Spider-Man touched upon that much, he didn't need it. Tobey's story ended. His Spider-Man story ended. Was there more that could have been added in Spider-Man 4 for him? Yeah, but also at the same time, he had his trilogy. He had his beginning, middle, end. With Andrew, he had a beginning, he had a middle, and then there was no end for him. It was just, oh no, my girlfriend died. My dad's back. Like, that was it. Like,
and here's the thing, he got closure here. With Tobey, anything you wanted to touch in Spider-Man 4 got touched here. Though I wish he did bring up his daughter. I think that would have been neat, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, like this, as Nelson mentioned, like this is Tom's trilogy, so he's going to get the more screen time, which I didn't really mind. Tom's an amazing Spider-Man. No, but he's Spider-Man. But like, Tom and Andrew were the ones that needed to be shown more prominently here than Tobey. And Tobey did really, really great for, the amount of screen time that he did have. I mean, I kind of wish we got more Bully McGuire quotes, but that's just me.
but we got... How is this helping? I mean, even Andrew with his screen time didn't want to take up that much time. They clearly both were having a great time, and I think they both got fair amount of time. Like, there's nothing I would have loved to see added or taken away, because let's be honest, this is the last time we're seeing them. They're going to be back again.
Well,
I bet they are.
Andrew was definitely down to do a Spider-Man 3 for him. And Tobey's obviously down to do Spider-Man 4.
Definitely, if not to come back in Secret Wars. I believe it. They both got treated so well. Apparently they filmed for like 2 weeks, and damn, they gave both of these characters justice. They definitely rewritten Andrews very well, even to the point where people rewatched his first two movies and realized, oh, okay, yeah, it was writing.
I think I had commented something on it. Like, Andrew's Spider-Man was good. It was just the writing sucked.
Like, seriously, I didn't realize how great Spider-Man was. He shined. He was one of the most shining, things in this movie, behind Tom and
The villains.
and Willem Dafoe. Like, he shined. And also, thank God they used their proper suits. Like,
Well, I don't think I was ever worried about them using their proper suits or not, but yes, it does help.
yeah, apparently people were saying that Tobey's mask is messed up. I don't see where. Like, maybe it looks a little bit. For Tobey's Spider-Man's been doing this for like 20 years by this point. Like, he would change something at least.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
ridiculous.
little side note, I do have to say my favorite part was all three Spider-Mans. It wasn't the end. It was the lab scene.
For me, it's either the lab scene or the talk on the Statue of Liberty. Both of them are so fucking good.
I mean, there are a lot of great triple Spider-Man moments. And we did get the meme. We did get a meme of the three staring, pointing at each other.
And also, we did get a meme about the web shooters. Thank God they touched that.
I feel like that. I was dying of laughter.
Because Toby's like, why is this so strange for you?
It's Doctor Strange.
Like, the fact they touched upon that, man, it's like the references. The only thing I gotta say they did bad for one of these guys has gotta be Toby and not having any interaction with Green Goblin. That's the only bad thing.
Well, yeah, technically he didn't have any interaction with them, but technically he also got stabbed by him as well. So,
and he also did kind of smile at him when he turned at him. So I mean, close enough, I guess.
So I think that's interaction enough being stabbed by Green Gobby. So,
I would have wanted more, but that's really all I gotta say. I think they both got the perfect amount of screen time, about almost 30 minutes. I can't believe people were upset at first with them getting like that much time. Like, what the fuck do you want them to do? Get like 2 hours? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite part. Wait, are you done with this section, by the way?
Yeah, I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, how were the villains? Now, I'm going to start from the bottom and make our way to the top. I think we've got to discuss this one first. Lizard was horrible.
The issue with Lizard was the fact he wasn't there.
He added nothing to this movie. He did not have to be here at all. He really did not.
Outside of the dinosaur joke that J.K. Simmons makes, there was nothing that the Lizard exactly did. And Sandman was better used, but also at the same time, the actor who played Sandman and also the actor who played Lizard they weren't there. They weren't on set. They were CGI for all of the film, and then they used
because of COVID
from their last appearance to be put in the film.
And that's just, oh god, I get. By the way, like, what was the point? I mean, I don't just want to make this little, thing here, but there's a Connors in the Raimi universe. How come, like, the Ock? I know it's different universes, but how come Ock or, Norman Ock didn't make some kind of reference towards that? Like, wait, what? Like, it would have been some kind of funny joke there. It just seems like some reference was just missed there. Like, if he was just there for that, I mean, close enough, but. I mean, I get they couldn't be there due to COVID, but I mean, here's the thing: Lizard, but Sandman, he actually served a purpose. He's not really a villain. He just wants to go see his daughter. Honestly, I do like it in the final fight. He's just there for the box. He does not give a fuck, and I find that hilarious.
Yeah, that is quite comical. Sandman, for me personally, I found he was done very well. The only issue I had with him was the fact that he wasn't there.
Exactly. He deserved. I wish he got some more screen time. But honestly, he definitely got some redemption from Spider-Man 3. But I wish he got more screen time. He really deserved more.
Oh, yeah, definitely. As I said, obviously, I think the best part with Sandman probably had to be the fight in the woods with Electro, which was, I don't know why, that was just nice. Like, I think whenever what was it? Tom's took off his mask, like, wait, you're not Peter.
He's like, I'm not your Peter Parker. What? What the hell do you mean? You gonna stand here act like a butt-ass naked? I am. Just seeing these villains interact with each other. Oh my god, it's just so crazy.
All right.
Like, now, one that got big redemption. Electro.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I was hyped for Electro because this thing, Jamie Foxx, he's a really good actor. He's an amazing comedian.
He is, and damn it, they gave him personality in this one. They made Jamie Foxx be Jamie Foxx.
And I can't deny, I was really glad that they didn't use the, I don't know, deep sort of electric voice for the entire film. I think they only used it for like the final fight, and that was it.
Yeah, they used it in that trailer, and you're like, oh no, if they use this voice, no.
Yeah, luckily it was only for whenever he was, electric, pretty much. Whenever he wasn't, he sounded and talked normally. And
Thank
he
God.
had some of the jokes of the entire film.
Dude, he did. That's one of the most underrated ones is his reaction to the goblin coming out. He's just like, the hell?
I think it was small, but it was just really good.
But also, his interaction with Andrew Garfield in the end. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, they redeemed every single thing. And if people ask about his transformation, I mean, it's different universes, different energy. He's able to do all that. Plus, I'm not complaining. I'd rather him have this look than whatever the hell he had in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It looks better. Also, I can't deny whenever he did actually come into the film, which we predicted that fight correctly, it was creepy. It was cool.
It was, and immediately for a second he popped up as Blue. By the way, now I see the plot hole. He heard the name Peter, before he died, or sometime before that, so he just kind of probably put something together there, and that's why. That's what my guess is.
Is it a plot hole? Yes. Does it matter? No.
Not really, but he needed redemption. This movie was a redemption for everybody, honestly, and definitely Electro was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Next, let's go with Doc Ock. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, he had a lot less screen... I mean, he had a lot of screen time, but also a lot less than I thought he would. I thought he would play a very important role, but he just... After he got shot out of the building, he just disappeared until, after the battle was done.
Again, I was a bit disappointed with Doc Ock, because
Same.
I would have liked to see him interact with the Spider-Mans more, but, I mean, at least he interacted with Tobey Spider-Man for about a minute.
Which was good. Not as long as Electro and Andrew, which, to be honest with themselves, probably should flip that around, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, just a bit.
They should have kept what they originally did with Doc Ock being with them in the lab and helping at the final battle. That would have been so great. Like, he was the first one to be healed, so why is he not doing Doc Ock stuff until after? Like, it just feels weird that both Doc Ock and Green Goblin pop up after that fight. Like, really?
I can't deny, whenever he did come in with the assist out of nowhere, that was really nice.
He did. That was great, honestly. I mean, here's the thing. For the time he had, he was fantastic. I thought he'd play a much bigger role in some areas, but still, his fight with Peter on the bridge was fantastic, considering we've seen the whole fucking thing in the trailers.
Yeah,
oh
I can also understand why Alfred Molina may have not fully had a large role. One, cuts to the script, obviously. Two, also, it cost a lot of money to de-age him.
Exactly. You can't really do that for Willem Dafoe because the dude just does not fucking age. He's 45 and just died to stop aging.
There was like slight de-aging with Willem Dafoe, but for the most part, he looks and sounds exactly the same to how he did in 2002.
Exactly, and if he did have some kind of like wrinkle there, he could just make an excuse as the Goblin. But Doc, I think that's probably what it came down to, just the budget. It's like, plus he had a fair amount of screen time. They didn't ruin his character pretty much. He got taken out right when he was choking Tobey, which I just like the feeling that he gets wiped out and Tobey's like, oh fuck.
that was fun. It's just like, can we get the Marvel cut of Spider-Man 2?
Tobey just turns at MJ. MJ's like, oh. Oh gosh. Okay. Which, by the way, if everyone's wondering, no, Sandman and Lizard were not killed. They were not. They were just taken out at their time frames.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna guess Flint was taken out. I'm gonna guess probably shortly after Spider-Man 3, if not at the same time Tobey was as well. Which is 20 years later.
I'm of the belief that as soon as he flew into the wind at the end of Spider-Man 3, the portal opens up out off camera.
He's like, oh, okay. Because he definitely knows who Peter is by this point. He's like, I'm helping you. Which, honestly, that was a nice moment, by the way. But yeah, Electro, Doc Ock. Good, could have been better. Now, the best performance, obviously. Willem Dafoe, and I know people keep saying he should be the Joker. Nah. He's the one and only Green Goblin. That's good enough.
Well, yeah, as I said, I'm not gonna lie. I was so hyped whenever Willem Dafoe came back as Green Goblin. He was like, this is a weird thing. He was the best part about the Spider-Man movie that he was starring in, and he was the best part about this Spider-Man movie as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, dude, I predicted it too. I said he's going to do a lot better with the facial expressions, which, by the way, thank God, the Green Goblin is a breath fresh of air, a villain who just wants to make their hero suffer. It's been so long since we've had that, and I'm here for it.
And
Oh, gosh.
I also like the Jekyll and Hyde aspect of it because, Norman Osborn isn't a bad guy. He's just made some bad decisions. One of those having injected the serum that led the Green Goblin to overtake his personality.
I mean, definitely one of the moments is when he was in the, in the feast facility, and he even brought up his son and started to kind of cry a bit. Like, that really just shows Norman.
And also, I really like that. I think my favorite scene of the film was the one before the large fight with the Green Goblin, coming out. But it was whenever Tom Spider-Man had like the Spidey sense, like he had this like odd ringing in his ears, and he didn't know why. He didn't know what was up. And then we got the reveal of the Green Goblin's back, and I'm not gonna lie, that was cool. And then that led to Electro. What the hell?
That is going to be Tom Holland's defining moment as a Spider-Man. That whole entire thing was just bad ass. And then, as stated, the fight afterwards, so physical. It felt practical. It didn't feel CGI-like. I mean, I think I fault MCU for is they really go CGI heavy. That was very much practical.
Yeah, also, I think what helped with why it was practical was Willem Dafoe. He wanted to do a lot of his own stunts, and he was allowed to
Actually, he did all the stunts. He did all of them.
He did all the stunts, and I think I credit. He said something in an interview. He wants to do it. He wants to be there. He wants to be present for why he's getting paid.
Because this is going to be his last time playing it, so why the fuck not?
Also, we need a Spider-Man cut, 2002 cut of just Willem Dafoe, just like a camera on Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin mask, showing all of his facial expressions.
Dude, please. I mean, I'm one of the few people who did not care that the mask got destroyed that quickly. I'm glad it did. I'm so glad it did.
You see Willem Dafoe be Willem Dafoe, and by that, what I mean by that, act fucking insane. I think the only person, I stand by this, the only person who can ever portray Norman Osborn accurately on screen outside of Willem Dafoe is Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yes, he could.
Both overact amazing. The only difference is Willem Dafoe has amazing facial expressions. Nicolas Cage just fucking screams his head off, and both would work perfectly.
He would. I think that's why Nicolas Cage is the perfect Ghost Rider, which he better be. Marvel, he better be the new Ghost Rider. There's only one man that can play that role, and it's him, unless Keanu Reeves, but it better be Nicolas Cage.
And here's the thing, imagine Nicolas Cage with good writing.
He had bad writing. Nicolas Cage is the perfect Ghost Rider. It's such bullshit.
I mean, I've seen Nicolas Cage with good writing in dramatic film. Hell, I watched Pig earlier, or last year now, but watched it at the end of last year. And it's a really great film. I think a lot of people would enjoy his dramatic performance.
Yeah, you said he carried it, which is like... Oh.
He wasn't the only good thing about it, but he was really good.
Like, that's just like, God, please give my man good writing. I mean, this is what this film did. Good writing to good things. Willem, nothing had to be redeemed about him. He was exactly the same character, like Doc Ock. Literally, the way I look at it is, they had to do some fix-ups for the others. But when it comes towards Doc Ock and Green Goblin, they didn't have to do anything. The only thing they did was add to them even more to make them even more legendary. And Willem, just his face.
Oh yeah.
And that's all I got to say on the villains. I think all the villains besides Lizard, I think the villains were all treated fairly enough. Lizard really didn't have to be there. He served absolute no fucking purpose at all besides throwing Tom through a fucking window.
Pretty much.
Sandman should have had a lot more screen time considering the fact. And Doc Ock, a little disappointing, but also more of not, understandable, so it's good enough. And Willem, come on, obviously.
Now, next up,
the story. Now, this is the thing I fucking pissed on when it came towards the trailers. How the story looked like it was going to go, and, well, didn't exactly go that way. I mean, it did, but it didn't go as stupidly as I thought it would.
It was, to put it simply, it was a nice surprise of how the story went. It was, if you predicted this story solely from the trailers, you would get about half of it right. Because,
Exactly.
and I will say this, they did show half of the film in the trailers.
Yeah, they did. Some things were not surprises anymore.
But outside of that, it was there were some twists and turns, like, spoilers if you couldn't tell already. Aunt May's death, I wasn't expecting that, so I won't deny I wasn't impacted by it because for I don't know why. It didn't look like she was going to die. I mean, clearly she should have died because she got fucking iconic. But
It looked like she was gonna die.
but you know what I'm talking about, like civilian Marvel superhero logic in their bodies. Because first off, CGI Aunt May, we actually got to see that whenever her body got launched into the air by concrete.
That was just, dude, her death scene. I've seen it twice now. Her death scene's not good, but the music behind it, oh, it makes me cry. The music is so fucking good.
And also
to it though.
It was really good with Tom, like the lighting of Tom's face, seeing the J. Jonah Jameson report.
Dude, that is gonna be my all-time favorite MCU shot right there.
It was a really good shot. I think I said, we already talked about the villains, gathering them up, rounding them up was really nice. I think.
Oh yeah, they're healing the villains, by the way. So pretty much, Tom goes up to Doctor Strange this time around because he's trying to help his friends out. That sounds like Peter Parker, not from whatever the trailers were showing.
Yeah, he wants to help his friends get into college. And I can't deny, there are now just theories saying, that's not Doctor Strange, he wouldn't do something so dumb. That sounds like Doctor Strange.
Especially because Wong gave him permission, just said leave him out of it. So
yeah, like,
that's Doctor Strange. Plus, it's not his fault what happened there. And Peter's just a kid, and all that stuff just went down.
Yeah, and I think they don't really say it in the film, but I think what helps and why the spell went wrong was a mixture of Peter keeping on fucking it up, Wanda doing Wanda things in WandaVision, and then Loki, nuking half of the universe in his own series.
So it all just kind of crumbled up into a pile of fucking shit, and all because Peter could do a phone call.
Yep.
But that, by the way, that was actually hilarious. That was funny. So when you put it like that,
well, yeah,
like that was just brilliant. And also, speaking of which, the Spider-Man and Doctor Strange fight. Oh, that part was great.
It was epic. I think that was probably my second favorite fight scene in the entire film, outside of the last fight.
Oh yeah, between Tom and Goblin.
Yeah, no, my actual. No. That I think that's better than Tom and Gabi.
No, I'm just saying, like number one.
Oh, my number one was that. Yeah, the actual final action set piece.
Oh yeah. The movie shots. Yeah, this it was like so damn good, and plus he outsmarted Doc by using geometry. He didn't really beat him; he just really outsmarted him.
Yeah, and also, I think I've always liked the Doctor Strange fight scenes in the Doctor Strange movie. It's just the writing of the Doctor Strange movie is boring.
It is. I mean, when I loved the movie when I first seen it in theaters, and when I rewatched it, I'm just thinking, oh fuck.
Which sucks, because how do you make Mads Mikkelsen boring? Marvel, how the fuck do you do it?
Easy. I don't know, just MCU.
Look at any Mads Mikkelsen performance. Yeah, it's boring.
But still, by the way, Doctor Strange, he had as much screen time as he was supposed to. I was worried that he would take over, or be kind of like this mentor or something. No, he took over as much as he should have.
No, yeah, like he was in the first half of the film, and then he dipped because he was in the Mirrorverse, and then he came for the very final set piece to close up.
He was about to beat Tom's ass too.
True, and then he saw Tobey and Andrew. Was like, my bad.
Well, time to do 3.
Yeah, but that was nice. Also,
then after the fight, then that's where the healing starts happening.
Yeah, and as I said, it's weird because I think the ending of the film was.
I mean, let's be honest, the ending swing is really bad.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I do like the fact that now Peter doesn't. Everyone who knew him, no longer
doesn't.
Right, Spider-Man, but this brings forth the question, tiny issue, because I don't know how much time is exactly, passed, would Ned and MJ still be friends?
Yeah, they're still friends.
Well, yeah, no, I know that, but like, I didn't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Ned and MJ would have been friends without Peter being involved.
That is true. Like you say, they said this film takes place in 2024, which is just why. But so if it's taking place in 2024, it means somewhere in between that time they may have had some kind of grown their own friendship, possibly without Peter. So that at least there's some kind of connection there that doesn't need to have Peter involved. But I see what you mean. That's kind of a little bit of a plot hole.
Well, I don't mind small plot holes. It's just something I just, off the top of my head.
But another plot hole. Is it just on Earth, or is it also around space? Because that means Thor can come back and be like, "Hey, Peter!"
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Or Nick Fury. Nick Fury's still in space. You don't know. Like, does it go all around the universe, or just does it go on Earth?
Yeah, you see, I'm trying to think of this stuff months after I've seen the film.
I was already thinking about this. Like, so is this just on Earth, or is it going to be all around? It's a little bit strange. Haha, punny. But yeah, the story. By the way, like I gotta say, definitely the most unique story out of the MCU as well. I mean, it had a clear direction. It really did. Like, this film feels like it's very, very short. You know, it just goes to one thing to the other thing, to one thing to another. It's so simple, but it does so much with its simpleness of the story.
I think what helps is outside the first 30 minutes of the film, everything else is just so fast and so so entertaining. You know?
Exactly. Which, by the way, where do you go to that? The pacing up to Doctor Strange?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Let's go to that.
For me, I've seen it twice, and I think the second time around, the first 30 minutes is not so bad. In fact, it's one of the things that I faulted John Watts on for the first two Spider-Man that honestly he did approved on here. Though I wish he did recaps of the previous things and what's really going on with Peter up until this point. In this movie, he didn't take 1 hour to do this. He really went fast with it, which in some areas was rough, but he got to the point very much quickly. He established all this stuff, and then as soon as that stopped, I think as soon as the Doctor Strange stuff happened, that's where the movie started, stuff going all over the place.
Yeah, and I think we already mentioned some of the Doctor Strange stuff with him helping break the multiverse. But
oh yeah.
So as Nelson previously mentioned, the comedy elements were really phenomenal from Strange.
Oh, they were. Especially that Scooby-Doo line. Oh god, that trailer, it was horrible, but the movie, it actually was. I won't say funny, but it wasn't as cringy.
My favorite line from him was the joke that paid off. Was hey, Doctor Strange, no, you can call me Steven. And then he's like, Steven, no, you call me Doctor.
That was hilarious. Then Tom jumping.
Like, and part of it is Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Holland have really great chemistry, but also Benedict Cumberbatch's line delivery. Like, he was so offended by what Peter did. Like, no, you call me Doctor.
Call me Doctor! God, he would be such a good doctor, though, really thinking about it.
I mean, yeah, but I want to see him as Lord Supreme Strange first. Yeah, thank you very much.
Then Doctor. Or be the Master. I mean, seriously, the pacing up till that moment, it's not horrible, but you could definitely tell John Watts is trying to get everything done quick, done fast and easy, just so he could jump right into it. And honestly, in the end, it's gonna obviously take points down. Because trust me, I'm not gonna try to ignore that. That's not good, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Now I think that's pretty much all I got to say on that. How about you?
Yeah, I'll have to say on that as well.
Oh yeah, wait. One mini thing. The spider sense scene when he got knocked out of his body. That was neat. That was a neat detail. You can see the lines going around his head.
Oh yeah, I really like that as well. That was really great.
Like, people were quite. I mean, I'm the only person that I feel like the only person that knew that was spider senses immediately. Like, yeah, everyone's like, what was that? It's the spider sense. You don't see the lines.
And also, I do like how he just like kept on moving the box away from him.
And he's like, wait, how's this possible? Like, oh man. Now, did it fix the flaws from the other two Spider movies? Yes, it did. What the first two movies did absolutely wrong, this movie did correct. The villains are not connected to Tony Stark. Thank to the fucking God. The only closest thing it is with Elektra with, the arc reactor, which is nothing, basically. These villains make it personal with Peter, especially Aunt May with Green Goblin. Peter has a connection with these villains. Peter grows with these villains throughout the film. Unlike with Vulture, unlike with Mysterio, he actually grows with these villains. He grows a relationship with these villains, and when he takes them on, it actually has impact, especially Green Goblin.
Also, after I read this film, it wasn't as clunky with the villains as I thought it was going to be. Because in Spider-Man 3, it had 3 villains, and it was a mess. Spider-Man 2, or The Amazing Spider-Man 2, had
Batman 2!
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 had only 2 villains, and it was a complete and utter mess. Technically 3 if you count Rhino, but he was only there for like 2 minutes. It's 2 villains!
I can't believe I thought he'd be the 6th villain at one point.
And a complete and utter mess. This had... what, 5?
5, but if we would have wanted to count Sammy at 4.
4, and a guy who just wants to go back to his daughter, right?
Which, guy's down bad.
Yeah, like that had plans for disaster, but how they paced them all out were brilliant. They had Lizard suck. They made Electro be redeemed. Doc Ock had some nice time, and Green Goblin was a villain for only half of his time.
Exactly, and like I said, they grew a relationship with Peter and the villains. And also another thing, oh my god, finally, Peter is shining in his own Spider movie. If anything, Tobey and Andrew were the ones that helped him shine even more, guiding him in the right direction. And I do love that Peter didn't simply be like, okay, no, he was actually about to put himself in that bad direction until he was stopped. Like, we've seen Tom's acting here. Oh my gosh, I know they don't put superhero movies and Oscars, performances, but God, come on, Tom deserves to be an Oscar for this. He really does.
I definitely, I wouldn't put him in the Oscar category, but I think definitely he had a very phenomenal performance. This was his best performance in within these 3 films, this trilogy. And also
thank him for changing the ending.
Yeah, and also, because he did change the ending, but also in the entire MCU in general, this is his best performance.
It is. I mean, this movie, everything that you could complain about the first 2 Spider movies, they took everything away here. John Watts listened to the people. This felt like a Spider-Man movie. This didn't feel like Spider-Man No Way Home was like pretty much Civil War Part 2 or Iron Man 4 and 5, pretty much. This felt like a Spider-Man movie. I genuinely felt like it was.
Hey, Nilsson, I have to say something. The movie we're talking about is No Way Home.
No way. But there's no way home.
No, but you said Spider-Man No Way Home is the Civil War Part 2.
Oh wait, Homecoming. Fuck! See, John Watts, this is why we don't use home in our titles! I thought you were making a joke. I'm thinking, do I gotta make a punchline here?
No, but back on topic.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Tom shine. And Homecoming, he had his moments. So really, Homecoming can be out of this conversation. What Far From Home did wrong, though. Huh.
Well,
here's the thing. By the way, I'll give Far From Home some respect now. He was actually, I'm gonna guess he was written to be like a dumbass in the movie so he can learn his mistakes here, which he does.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He does. And as I said, Tobey and Andrew were used to perfection as supporting cast members to help this Peter off the path of revenge. And also, their lines together were really great. Mainly after Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man got stabbed. And it's like he's smiling and he's up everything, and Andrew's like, "This hurts a lot, doesn't it?" Yep.
That was hilarious. Which originally, apparently, because Venom was supposed to be a part of the final act at one point. He was going to come after Tobey and Andrew, and he was going to help heal Tobey after he dies. No.
It's kind of, God. I actually much more prefer how they used Venom in the actual film and the post-credit sequence, where quite literally he gets drunk, wants to go skinny dipping, and then dips out of this multiverse.
I mean, because honestly, the Venom here, this could be used so beautifully based on how Tom is right now. Because Tom right now, he's hiding his emotions. Imagine that Venom bringing the worst out of him.
Personally, I'd like to see, Tom... I'd like to see Venom in Andrew Garfield's...
it has to be. It has to be. They foreshadowed. He said, I want to fight an alien. It has to be.
Yeah.
He better be. I have a feeling the reason why Morbius got pushed to April is because they're filming some Andrew Garfield stuff in there. It has to be.
That, or Sony just fucking sucks.
Probably both. Let's be honest. Probably because Sonny sucks.
That's then I'm a little bit worried for the.
Dude, I was excited to see that shit. It was on my birthday. I was going to see that on my birthday.
I'm a little bit nervous about the Multiverse of Madness movie from Doctor Strange because whatever movie
I'm not.
shoots probably means bad stuff, and especially whenever they get delayed by an extra set of months.
For me, Morbius is real bad. Doctor Strange, I think it just got too moss. I believe in Sam Raimi. And fuck, some of the shots in that trailer already proves enough. Sam Raimi knows what he's doing. He has full creative control. If it botches, then we'll blame Sony.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Now, not the last thing, but second to last thing. Does it stand out from the rest of the MCU? Because there's always this talk of, what is it? It was like, this movie stands out from the MCU. They said it for fucking Eternals. They said it for Shang-Chi. They said it for Black Widow. They say it for the Infinity War, Endgame. They always say it stands out. And I just think, where? I hear my cat at the window. I can't really do anything about that right now. It doesn't. This... Wait, what was it?
I will say for Shang-Chi, it does stand out from the rest of the MCU because it doesn't feel like an MCU movie.
It doesn't.
Eternals, from what I've heard, is just boring.
It's bad. It's bad and boring.
But from what I can say, from my experience watching No Way Home, this definitely stands out from the rest of the MCU. Yes, were there some MCU punchlines? Yeah, the first 30 minutes was practically all the Marvel jokes that you could fit into a set of 30 minutes.
But the thing is, those jokes didn't feel forceful. Like, none of the jokes, I wasn't cringing. Like, the jokes felt natural.
I want to be honest. If this were an MCU film, there would have been a joke shortly after Aunt May got deaded, right?
Yeah, and the weird thing, I know Tobey Andrew came in right after that, but it didn't feel like a joke. And plus, it all made sense with the whole grandma stuff. Like, that stuff didn't feel forceful. Some people are saying Ned's mom. Fuck y'all. Ned's mom, ruined that whole trauma. She didn't. She didn't for me. No, how else would they enter in the movie? Honestly, it's iconic in its own way. I wasn't bothered by it.
I wasn't bothered by it either. Also, as I said, seeing Andrew on the big screen as Spider-Man was amazing.
And him being the first one to come in as a Spider-Man, which honestly, that says a lot. By the way, they fixed the CGI, and apparently actually his arm went through that shelf. They fixed that. Good. I didn't notice it, but apparently it was like that. But no, it stands out. And also, not based off just the humor and all that, the soundtrack. Because I'm be honest with you, one thing MCU sucks with, if it's not Avengers or literally Captain America, their Thor Ragnarok, their soundtracks are not the best. They're meh at best.
Yeah.
This soundtrack is fucking amazing.
I said personally, I think I said it earlier, but yeah, this movie definitely stands out heads and tails over not only the rest of Spider-Man movies in its trilogy, but also most of the MCU.
It does. Wait, hold on. Continue on.
But here's the thing, I don't think it's a top 5 MCU film, but most certainly it's in the top 10 for me.
Maybe it comes up on rewatch. Maybe it could be. I mean, it has a lot of things that really can help it be top 5. I mean, I give one thing here. It's not a hot take. It's better than Endgame.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything about almost every MCU film is better than Endgame.
Finally, Thor Dark World get respect.
No, but whenever I think of the top 5 of the MCU, I think of Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok, Captain America, Civil War. I think
Winter Soldier, which I think is the best MCU film.
Well, Winter Soldier, yes, but that film gets too much credit for what it's worth. It's not. It's not.
Someone said it's not 8.
No, it's not. It's not a spy film like everyone wants to be. It's a action movie that has elements of spy. Right?
I don't give it credit for being a spy movie, so that's why you get on my ass, right?
No, I was getting on the MCU fans' asses.
Yeah, because it's not a spy film, but it's definitely a good story about two friends.
Yeah, it's the Millicent and Gold story. Remember, that's how our friendship started. I was lost.
Sucked out of a train.
Yeah, I mean, I was shot out of a train. You were frozen in the icicle. Yeah.
And we met up years later, and he had a mechanical arm.
Yeah, hey, cool.
Like a fucking book took you over, but yeah, it's this film.
And now now, present day, you're dead because you traveled back in time to have sex with Peggy or whatever her name was, and I am friends with your black friend.
Imagine one day living in 2023 and the next day fucking in 1940s.
I mean, maybe we should ask Ian or Jason about that.
Like they would fucking know they're virgins.
Yeah, hey, Jason. Yes, I did have that dream about Jason breeding. Maybe it just hasn't happened yet.
I'm not even gonna try to say what the ending was. I'm keeping that. That's a thing to keep between us. What the ending of that dream was.
Yeah. But
if you want to know, you're not gonna know. But yeah, there's a few more things I want to say regarding this movie. For once, I can truly say, this is what Endgame should have been. This movie was depressing in a lot of areas and definitely kept up. It had an ending that was impactful. With Endgame, it felt like it was just for the movie there was an impact, and then nothing really happens afterwards. It didn't really feel like there was an impact. This movie is bringing an impact to Peter overall for the future. Things that happen in this movie happen for a reason, while in Endgame, it just happened because it's expected to.
You know, in Endgame, despite the movie being 3 hours long, there's not really a lot of time to breathe in the film for you to, like, have the death of Black Widow affect you, or the death of Iron Man really affect you. Like, there's not a lot of breathing room for a movie that's 30 minutes shorter. It allows itself pacing and time to have the death of Aunt May affect you, even if it may have not, or have the Spider-Mans help console Peter, right?
Exactly. Like, it gave its time to emotion. When it needed to do its emotional moments, it did it. It balanced its emotions out, and it didn't do humor right after something was emotional. Fucking Endgame.
I mean, I see this as an absolute win.
It was. This movie stands out. This movie truly stands out from the rest of the MCU, and I feel like maybe one day this movie actually will probably somehow sneak its way into top 5 territory. Maybe.
We shall see. But,
when it comes to its final rating, though, I say to stick with the 9. I mean, maybe it may push up, but I want, as much as I want to go 9.5 or go, I don't want to go 10, but at least go 9.5. I can't, and the reason why is because there is flaws with this movie. As stated, the first 30 minutes is not the best. There's some areas where it's really rough when it comes towards, maybe it's storytelling. The Aunt May stuff was not as emotional as they thought it would be. The writing for Lizard was pretty piss poor. Sam May could have been treated better. Same with Doc Ock, but Doc Ock was fine as is. It was rough in some areas. And that doesn't make it a perfect movie. You can't let Tobey and Andrew blind you, people. You can't.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as well, because mainly for everything that you said, it wasn't a perfect film, but it damn near was. That's it. For me personally, if the first 30 minutes weren't as clunky, if Lizard were maybe a better villain, and we actually
had a purpose.
Yeah, and actually had a purpose, then yeah, it could have been perfect. But for what we got, it was amazing.
Exactly, the Amazing Spider-Man. It was.
I already made that joke. Fuck you.
Well, they too. Like I said, it was great as was. Like, there was nothing really I could change. I mean, I can live with the fact that Lizard wasn't written better. It's not like one of those things where it's like 7. It's a 9. I can live with that. It just isn't 10. But trust me, I don't think we need to be a 10. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Still.
No, that's all I really have to say on the film.
Same. And yeah, you're right. It's a lot shorter than the last one, 43.
So good.
So good. And that is it for this podcast. Podcast number 3. The next one will be Divisional Round predictions, and obviously we'll do some wild card recap as well in there. But yeah, that's it for me.
Me as well.
Bye.